Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Saltcast. I'm your host, Alex. I'm here with the one and only Bert, as always, and Sebastian.
Happy Bert year.
Actually, Bert is not here always. He was gone.
Yeah, that
one
just
time.
happened.
Oh, yeah. The usually here, Bert.
Hey.
This is our first episode of 2024. This will release in 2024, so welcome from the past. This episode we're talking...
They're all from the past.
Yeah, this episode we're talking about Halo 2's multiplayer. This is like our part 2 for Halo 2. We talked about the campaign and the story and all of that stuff, all the narrative things and gameplay stuff as far as the campaign. We are going to move now to the multiplayer because Halo 2's multiplayer is kind of like known for revolutionizing online multiplayer in gaming and specifically for
actually
consoles.
popularizing Xbox Live and then eventually spawning like what PlayStation Network or whatever it's called.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of people give credit to Halo 2 for being a big part of that. So we're going to just kind of...
So let me ask you something right now then. Since Bert is very unfamiliar with this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Is it important?
Nope, keep going.
Yes.
Bert, what's something cool in multiplayer games that no longer exists?
Team chat, like pre-lobby team. Remember pre-lobby? Yeah.
Pre-game lobbies?
Pre-game
You
lobby.
mean the thing invented by
Yeah.
Halo 2?
Yeah,
That's one of them. That's one of the things that came from Halo 2.
pre-game lobbies. used to
In-game
be so
friends
much
list
fun.
It was fun to talk shit before matches.
Also invented by Halo 2.
What was it? In-game what?
In-game friends list. So, like,
That still
you
exists.
wouldn't have to go through a separate thing. Yeah, but I'm saying invented
Oh,
in Halo
yeah,
2.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, Halo 2
Um,
set the groundwork for all of that, and a lot of that stuff is still used now. Like, that blueprint still holds
Yeah.
today.
well, I'm pretty sure I talked about this in our episode that Bert didn't turn his mic on. I'm not sure why it came up, but I talked a lot about this in that one. Recently, maybe not so recent anymore, it might have been like 2 or 3 months ago now, there was like this thing where people were talking on Twitter, or X for the kids,
hmm
to the lead Halo 2 multiplayer director or designer or something, whoever was in charge of the multiplayer aspects of Halo
Mhm.
2.
Yeah.
And basically he was saying that he was super disappointed with how Halo Infinite handles multiplayer and how they basically like don't do any of the like core fundamentals that he believes are vital to the multiplayer experience of Halo.
Yeah, I mean, there's no pre-game lobbies for one.
No pre-game lobbies, post-game lobbies. He doesn't like that if you run into a team you like, you can't party up with them after, because that's something that existed in Halo 2, 3, and Reach, where if you liked your team, I think it was like X or B or something, stick with team, everyone votes. He liked map
Even
voting,
Overwatch has
also
that.
from Halo.
Yeah, map voting
Yeah.
isn't a thing.
All from Halo 2, though. Map voting. He said that his main focus when designing Halo 2 multiplayer was he wanted it to literally just be as close as possible to feeling like you're at someone's house, sitting on the couch and gaming with them.
Yeah. No,
You feel like that's something that did not
I feel
really
like that's what developers
carry through to
should
these
strive
days.
for multiplayer games.
Yeah. And honestly, it's been a long time since I like read the tweets or whatever, but he said something like it wasn't even half of the things he wanted to get into Halo 2, that a lot of them had to end up coming in Halo 3, like the file share type stuff,
wow, that's kind of crazy.
Peter and all that. That was all planned for Halo 2, but they didn't have time.
Wow. Yeah, Halo 2 was groundbreaking in terms of the multiplayer experience and all of those kind of things. And it brought people, it made like gaming and multiplayer more accessible to people. So like it brought in a bigger audience and more people were interested, like that probably didn't play video games at the time because everybody heard about Halo 2. And then you have that multiplayer on top of it. Like you can just play with your friends.
Yeah.
It's a big draw to probably
Friends
a whole
that
new audience.
were into games would get friends that weren't too into games to play with them, and I'm sure they got hooked from there and whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure it
Yeah,
created
and I feel
an entire
like that
generation of
actually-
gaming, or gamers.
That actually started with Halo 1 because Halo 1 was very popular, like in terms of everyone always loved to do like LAN parties. People would go to each other's houses and hook up like 4 Xboxes and play Halo 1.
Yeah.
And then Halo 2 I feel like is like the natural evolution of that.
No, you
Yeah,
don't need
for
to be in the
sure.
same building. You can be on different cities.
Yeah, Halo 1 kind
Yeah.
of like showed that playing together aspect of it could succeed if you put it in like a larger, more accessible format, like an online system like Xbox Live.
Yeah, they really like at least the old people of Xbox back in the day have come out and said that Halo 1 is the reason Xbox exists and Halo 2 is the reason Xbox Live exists.
Yeah, and now Xbox Live is...
And Xbox Live spawns, the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, Xbox Live
Steam.
has become so much bigger than what it was then. Like, it's an entirely new and like different service than it was back then. It's created a whole other
it's
And a
spawned a
lot of
whole
its
industry.
features came from Halo 2. There wasn't even a friends list on Xbox Live when Halo 2 came out. And then they're like, damn, that's a good idea. Let's take that for actual Xbox Live since it's in Halo 2.
Mm-hmm.
Files, like sharing files with people, partying up and stuff. Like Xbox Live took a lot of its features from Halo 2.
Yeah.
That's
And I think-
interesting.
It's kind of crazy to
that
think
is.
about.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty cool to see like stuff that's used today come from a game that was made so long ago.
Yeah, I definitely...
What's crazy is that Halo 2 has a long ass, very detailed, in-depth campaign, and then on top of it, like revolutionized multiplayer.
That's true
Like,
too.
It didn't just hit on one side,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think its impact on multiplayer and like gaming culture as a whole, in that sense, is probably more impressive than the campaign and the story of the game. Like in the
Yeah.
big picture of everything.
I remember this is more of like a Halo 1 thing, but it keeps true for the whole trilogy that Halo was originally never meant to be like thought of as this super intense like competitive game. That their idea was like, we want a party game, kind of like a FPS Mario Party type thing where people come together and just fuck around. That was like the original idea of Halo.
Yeah. And I can say, like, as somebody who played Halo 2 and 3 multiplayer, I went back and played Halo 2's multiplayer, like, after the fact, but it's the same kind of thing in Halo 3. Like, you played, playing Halo was so much different than, like, playing Call of Duty, for example. Like, the Halo experience in multiplayer was always more social and not as competitive, but you could also find, like, the competitive stuff, too. But there was just something more fun and, like, free-flowing about Halo multiplayer. Like, you could go in and fuck around and, like, do crazy stuff, and, like, even the other team at times would, like, be doing things, and it was just, like, a different social experience than it would be with, like, Call of Duty, where it's usually more competitive, like, generally speaking.
And try hard.
Yeah, well, like back, kind of, but like back in the day, more Halo 3 and Reach, but it started in Halo 2. Halo was almost like its own sort of Facebook type thing. Like you'd get on Halo, you'd look through the like popular file share stuff, see these pictures of cool things that people have done or maps or something, little clips of someone's montage or something on Halo Waypoint.
That was around during Halo 2?
Like Halo was during Halo 3, but
okay.
Halo 2 leads to that.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, it was almost like its own social media of its own, Halo.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is.
And then what's funny, though, is that Halo has gone in, like, a completely opposite direction to
Now
the
it's
original
more like COD.
idea, right? Well, it's like, you can literally pull up quotes. I don't remember the exact one, but it was, like, around the time Infinite came out. I don't think this guy works there anymore, thank God, but someone came out and said about Halo Infinite, they're like, Halo has always been meant to be a super competitive game. And then everyone just like sent them clips of like the Bungie guys saying the exact opposite.
Yeah, I don't think it was... at least excuse me, I don't think it was it meant to be like insanely competitive like that. It has a competitive scene, and there is people that do play it competitively.
That's the thing where people get confused, is because Halo was at one point the biggest competitive game on console, but it was like on accident, kind of.
It was only
I think
they focused on making a social, like, fun experience, and then it just ended up also having a competitive scene.
Yeah. I think for me, like having played both Halo and Call of Duty, like roughly around the same time, like 2 and 3, and then whatever Call of Duty was out at the time. And after that, like the difference between like the skill gap, like with Halo, I felt was higher. Like I think your skill ceiling in Halo is higher. Like I could probably turn on Call of Duty right now after not having played it for like 2 years and still be pretty decent. And then if I were to do that with Halo, I would probably get shit on. Like I struggle more to be good in Halo than I do to be good in Call of Duty. I don't know if that's just me.
Well, because in Halo, everyone has kind of the same gun
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think part of the reason is because Halo is... Well, Call of Duty is like... If you are mechanically good at the game, like you have good aim and reaction time, you can like slay out on most situations. Whereas Halo, like... A lot of winning the game has to do with knowing where to be on the map, where certain things spawn, which sight lines are, you know, like advantageous to you depending on like where people spawn.
Yeah. I mean, that's
and things like that.
That's also true in Call of Duty. Like you have to know spawns and like you can spawn trap and do all that kind of stuff. And
yeah, but it's different in Call of Duty because if you are... Basically, in Call of Duty, if you fuck up, you just die instantly, whereas in Halo, you can put yourself in positions to recover.
Yeah, I think like having a shield and not being like an instant kill, and the fact that the shield recharges, changes like the whole dynamic of how you can play. It's totally different.
And just the whole situation around power weapons and power-ups in Halo, I feel like, is a big difference, because like, you know, you get these battles where everyone congregates in an area when rockets spawn or when overshield spawns.
Yeah,
or,
like if you're good enough in Call of Duty, you can
Warthog spawn.
You can dominate a game with a knife. Like if you're good enough, it just depends.
Yeah,
yeah, but
something just because we're talking about right now the competitive like scene of Halo. I feel like a lot of people don't give it the credit that it does, because Halo is what started MLG. Like, you guys know MLG, right?
Major League Gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the org.
Yep.
They started with Halo 2. Yeah, they started with Halo 2. The first televised like gaming event ever in the US was Halo 2.
Huh.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. That's another thing I didn't know. Wow.
That is so cool, actually.
That's kind of crazy. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the Halo 2 Pro Series was the first televised gaming event ever.
Wow. That's so cool.
Now there's
like,
video
there was
games
a time Halo 2 and 3. Yeah, there was a time when Halo 2 and 3 were just dominating in the competitive scene. And what's crazy about it was that wasn't even like the intended outcome, but it just happened.
Yeah. Do you want to...
Man, Halo 2 rocks.
Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about like the development process? Like I know we touched on it a little bit during the first part of this Halo 2 like part of our series. Like the whole thing that Bungie went through like with the rush and like having to cut all kinds of stuff, and because part of that applies to the multiplayer too.
Yeah, I mean, basically all of Halo 3 spawned from it didn't fit in Halo 2. The multiplayer, the campaign, Forge, file share, everything.
That's a hell of a follow-up.
Yeah, I think you kind of said it, or you have said it before, Sebastian, how like Halo 2 is like narratively more intricate, and like there's more plot lines like interweaving and intersecting throughout the story, and then Halo 3 is kind of like the crescendo, and it's just on a 10 throughout the pretty much like the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, Halo 3 is basically just the last level of Halo 2. The whole game is the last level of Halo 2.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Halo 2, it's like I'm blanking right now on what the other ones are, but there's like the famous like 4 or 5 games with like the worst development cycles in history, and I know Halo 2 is one of them.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Because it apparently is like insane. I wish I remembered the other ones.
Yeah, I wouldn't know them either.
I don't know.
But yeah, I remember just hearing like all kinds of crazy stuff about how the Bungie people were all like in a room together and just like freaking out about having whether or not they're going to make their deadline for the game and it's going to be released here and there. And they were literally working like down to like the very last hour, like getting stuff into the game and making sure that it was playable in parts.
Yeah, and they were like sleeping. Some of them like didn't go home for months.
Yeah, they like were living in the Bungie office, like working on this game.
That sounds like Zom 100 in the beginning.
Yeah, basically. There was like this big Bungie, because back during like the Halo 2 and 3 times, Bungie used to do like these dev things, and like all the Bungie guys would say, yeah, the Halo 2 development was basically like when everyone got divorced for never coming home.
Wow, yeah. See, that's crazy. That's such like
if
you have never like if you don't know much about like that time that we're talking about, like the Halo 2 development, there's a bunch of like videos on YouTube and like documentaries about it. Like I would recommend listening or watching those. They're pretty interesting because we're not like doing it justice like with all of the stuff and all the shit that went into that like development process. Like they hit roadblock after roadblock while they were in the process of making that game.
But they really like look at Halo 2 now. They really pulled all they could out of that because that was the original Xbox that game came out on originally.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, they pulled everything out of it that they could, hardware-wise, mechanically, graphically. Maybe not graphically, but it still looks pretty good. Narrative-wise, like story elements, like they pulled out all the stops. It's crazy to think that for them that wasn't even everything that they wanted to do. Like looking back at it, it's kind of like Jesus Christ. What else did you guys want to put in there?
I know for a fact they wanted a Warthog run type thing at the end, but with a Banshee. Like that level where Chief is like going through that
could be cool.
That like grav lift thing to the key ship. There's like if you go into the files, there's some mods to like play a cut Banshee run in that section.
That would have been cool, yeah.
Something that Halo is famous for cutting and still happens to this day in Infinite. Every single Halo game has wildlife that's been cut.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about like some of the multiplayer maps? I think that's kind of interesting too.
I'm actually that I was going to bring that up because I think Halo 2 probably is like the start of where Halo like pops off in maps. Like cuz I mean, maybe I'm a little biased here, but I feel like just in general gaming like community, when people are like, what games have the most god tier maps? It's like Halo, Black Ops games, Modern Warfare games. That's like the ones I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the games too, I guess. But yeah,
Fortnite would be said nowadays.
Yeah,
Season
Fortnite,
1 of Fortnite.
I think
yeah, that's true.
There's probably some games like Smite. Like I can't think of the other one. League of Legends that have like.
I don't think so.
What about Battlefield?
But like, because if
oh yeah, Battlefield probably is up there too.
Maybe in some of the older ones.
Yeah.
But anyways, so like just a quick overview of Halo 1 because Halo 1's maps I think are actually really good, but they could have benefited from online. They're huge maps, but there is one map in Halo 1 that has lasted to this day and probably is still one of the most popular maps, outshining anything in Halo 2, and that's Blood Gulch. Everyone loves and knows Blood Gulch. Honestly, I don't like Blood Gulch.
Oh man, yeah, Blood Gulch is iconic. That is basically
Blood Gulch from Halo 1.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's another thing that Halo 2 and
Blood Gulch,
Halo 1's multiplayer helped spawn is the red versus blue.
Red versus blue.
Yeah, that was a.
That's what I was
huge
gonna
thing.
say, because Blood Gulch.
Yeah,
That was when theater became like.
did that start in Halo 2 days?
I think so. Yeah, it had to.
What is red
Okay,
versus
yeah.
Halo
blue?
3 doesn't have Blood Gulch.
Oh my gosh, Bert, check out red versus blue. Like it's on YouTube and stuff.
about
It's
for the
literally like a
audience?
machinima. Oh, you don't know?
It's just people. Oh, well, it's people in like a Halo custom match, just like acting out some stupid little funny series.
It's like skits. It's like
Okay.
Halo skits in game. If for anybody that doesn't know, and then they end up doing like an actual like storyline and stuff, and they have like running plot threads that they actually do. It's like a machinima kind of a thing.
Yeah, it starts off as like a joke thing, and then it really starts getting serious, and then it drops off at the end.
Yeah,
But
I mean it's funny, but
Yep.
it was like a cultural like phenomenon thing, like within like the Halo universe.
I remember
And I guess-
seeing it
Yeah,
in
and
the
that
game when
was
I was
something-
younger, but never actually looking at it because I never played Halo. So I just didn't
There's
well,
do
and then
anything.
that was something that only exists because of how heavy they went into the multiplayer side, giving like this whole theater thing for people to
Actually create
things like that.
And that is around in Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Like to
Yeah,
look back
Call
at
of
your
Duty has a
game.
theater
But-
mode also.
So like that
first
was
time.
definitely the biggest map from Halo 1. And then just I'm going to say a couple more, just two more, because this is like my favorite map from Halo 1, Battle Creek. They brought it back in Halo Reach. I think it's called Danger Canyon, something like that. It's like two bases on different sides of a river, but it's like a small version of Blood Gulch. It's way better.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then Timberland, which also got remade in Reach eventually. Those are probably like the pop-off Halo 1 maps. But Halo 2, I think, while we don't have... Well, I actually think we have tons of maps better than Blood Gulch, but Blood Gulch is like the one that everyone's like, Blood Gulch is the best Halo map. They're wrong. But
I
Sure.
love Blood Gulch.
we'll say Blood Gulch is the best Halo map. But... Well, assuming Blood Gulch is the best Halo map, I will still say Halo 2 has a much higher average for God tier maps. Just a few maps that are like legendary Halo maps that, you know, carry on to future games because they're so popular. Ivory Tower, that's a big one. If you don't know what that is, they have a whole level in Halo Reach about it. It's the area where you go up in New Alexandria, you land, you go up, and there's a bunch of drones that ambush
I
you.
remember that
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, so that level / map originated in Halo 2. Lockout, that's probably like one of the second biggest one I would say of Halo 2. It's like hanging in the ice. I'm trying to think what it's called in Halo 3. I can't remember, but Lockout is like a huge one. This one, I think, is like the one that people might say, oh yeah, that's definitely better than Blood Gulch, and this is probably... I feel like Blood Gulch is the most popular among, like, anyone, even people who don't play Halo, but I feel like the actual people that play Halo, this is the most popular Halo map, originating in Halo 2, Midship. That's in every Halo game since.
Oh, really?
I don't remember that one.
Midship is, it's a Covenant ship, like the Covenant ship. It's a circle. It's the map, what is it called?
I know what you're talking
In
about.
Halo Infinite is based off of it.
Oh, I don't know it in Halo Infinite, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, well,
that's like one of
Midship,
I
that's
think-
like a super popular one. I think it's Heretic in Halo 3. Let me think.
I think that
Called in
Probably
Halo
know it if I saw
Zealot.
it.
yeah, you would.
It's in every Halo game.
I think that
There's even a remake of it in Splitgate.
oh, really? I
Oh,
didn't
you know
that.
what? I do know a map that is then.
Yeah, it's a circle, basically, and it goes up on some sides
Yeah,
and then down.
yep. It's all
And then
back
it's
to
got
me
like
now.
top mid with the sword.
Yeah, I think that
you
the
bodied
Halo
me on
maps-
that map.
Yeah.
I think
What are you saying? You think the Halo's what?
I think that the Halo maps are like they're not like just 3 lanes and like sometimes they have a little bit of verticality. Like I feel like a lot of Call of Duty maps do that where it's like 3 different lanes, and that's like spread out in like different settings, but they all basically feel somewhat the same. I feel like Halo.
Yeah, honestly, I can only think of one Halo map that is like that, and it's Narrows from Halo 3, which is basically 3 lanes, but even then it's not really because the sides are grav lifts.
Yeah, but Halo Infinite, like specifically that one, like that I've played recently, like it has so many maps that are just 3 lanes. Even the big team maps.
Well,
are
those aren't
3
Halo games.
3 lane maps, and kind of suck. One of the best things about the older Halo games and their maps, specifically like Halo 2 and 1, like the openness that they give, like there's just like an open playground, like that you can just do whatever with. It almost feels like random.
Yeah.
Like there's just open open space and random like rocks,
especially Halo 1.
Yeah, stuff like that just allows for like really like dynamic and different vehicle play. Like it allows for so much more to happen versus when you limit it to 3 lanes and it's like only so much can happen within that like section.
Right. Let me since we're talking about maps and we were talking about competitive earlier, let me tell you the 3 maps in this game that I think are probably the reason that competitive popped off, being Lockout, we talked about already, Midship, and Sanctuary. Those are like the 3 biggest competitive Halo maps, I think. And then in Halo 2, because then, you know, Halo 3 you can bring like Guardians, Narrows, the Pit. But you know, in Halo 2, you guys know Midship now. Probably still don't remember Lockout, but you would if you see it. Sanctuary, Shrine, I think it's called in Halo 2 Anniversary. It's like a middle circular building with water everywhere. There's rockets in the middle. Each side has its own base with like a shotgun and a sniper on the sides. Did you just
fall out of your chair?
I dropped my phone.
Oh my gosh, I got so worried. I thought you died.
I almost did.
Are you guys remembering Sanctuary?
Yeah.
Not really, maybe. It's like an ancient ruins.
I know what you're talking about. Yes, I do know it.
Sanctuary is probably my second favorite, like more competitive type of Halo map.
Yeah.
It's weird that the very popular Halo competitive maps tend to be circular. You know, Warlocks, Sanctuary, Guardian.
It's just not a common thing. Like you don't really see that very often.
Yeah, and then just something that I feel like Halo 2 gets like not enough credit for its maps because everyone's always like Halo 3 has the best maps, but it takes all of Halo 2's best maps into it. So like half of its maps are good Halo 2 maps again.
Yeah.
And then yes, Halo 3 adds good Halo 3 maps as well. But there are so many maps in Halo 2 that I am so sad did not get remade because Halo 2 had a huge emphasis on like environmental type things in its multiplayer maps.
Yeah.
And like the only one that carried through to the future games in terms of like the environmental stuff is Zanzibar, which is the one with the big wheel.
Yeah, that's another good point. The environmental stuff. That's something that, other than like Battlefield, obviously, like that including environmental like things that impact your experience, Halo does a pretty good job of that compared to other shooters.
Yeah, like fucking Terminal. That is my favorite Halo 2 map. I desperately wish it was remade. I wish it was in Halo 2 Anniversary. It's basically just like this asymmetrical map where like a train track goes through the middle of the map, and every so often a train comes by like at like intense speed. It's awesome because like basically the whole game is each team is just fighting on different sides of the train tracks, but everyone's too scared to cross.
Is that out of nowhere you could just
you're
die?
Just like shooting at each other from other sides
That's
of
cool.
the train.
Yeah, that is cool.
I wish Terminal would be remade. That's my favorite Halo map in Halo 2. It's so good. Then you have maps like just cool visual maps like Turf.
Oh, I know that map.
Which takes place in I think it's Old Mombasa actually, because it's in the area of outskirts from the campaign.
Yeah. You know what's another?
Might actually be New Mombasa. I don't remember, but hold on. The scarab you kill in the campaign is like destroyed and on the ground there, and you can like go into it and stuff. It's pretty cool.
That's a good segue because I was gonna say like the maps usually have like some sort of like significance within like lore too. Like there's usually a little bit of a story element to them that also goes into like the creative process when they're making those maps, which is something that Halo did a really good job of, I think.
True. Oh, Elongation. That's another good map. I just remembered. It has like these. It's like just these 2 hallways, but each hallway has like a conveyor belt on it going a different way with like boxes on it. So it's like the whole time you're fighting with this like moving cover to people on the other side. It's really weird, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah. If you're somebody that's interested in lore and like really deep lore, because like the maps is like pretty deep, if you're gonna edit into that kind of thing, there's all kinds of like YouTube videos and stuff about that kind of stuff that with people that know like a little bit more about it than we do.
There's plenty of video essays.
Yeah, I can't tell you every single lore detail about all of those maps, but like for example, like some of the Forerunner ones, like there's all kinds of different things and like explanations to what those areas are and what they're doing there and like what they're designed for, which gets pretty cool, down to like flood containment, like research stuff, like all kinds of stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, tell me what you guys think about this, actually, because it's something I just realized since we're going through the maps. It's not something that other games do that much. I guess it was kind of done in Black Ops, but I feel like Halo is more consistent with it. Every single Halo game brings like a handful of maps from the last one. Like you have a Blood Gulch, I think it's Coagulation, I think in Halo 2. You have Beaver Creek, which is, I already forgot, Danger Canyon or something like that in Halo 1.
Yeah.
Then, Zanzibar goes to Halo 3, Shrine goes to Halo 3, a bunch of shit goes to Halo 3. And then like there's literally a midship type map in every single game after Halo 2. And like Call of Duty games kind of do that, but they like do it after, like, oh, we haven't seen this map in a while, let's bring it back. Whereas Halo, like, it's literally always there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call of Duty will take it away, then resell it back to you later as DLC. Halo will just carry it with the next game.
That's true.
I wish they do votes.
It does happen a lot.
Because I fucking want Terminal, man. I like, midship is fine, but I don't really need midship for the 8th time. I want Terminal.
That would be cool if like a game studio put out a poll to see which map should get remade.
Yeah, that's another good thing, like another good segue right there, because I feel like back in those days, like the studio was much more like willing to like listen to what the fans wanted and like what audience reception was of things. Like they worked more for that, not just to sell you something, Like I feel like the community interaction from the Bungie people to the player base was like much more. They had a better feel for it and like finger on the pulse kind of thing.
Right. I just thought of 2 more maps. I can't believe I forgot. Tombstone is like this is actually a map remade from Halo 1. I think it's called High Noon in Halo Reach. That's a very popular map. It's like, it's very empty with like random things coming up. You guys probably haven't played it actually, because it's not in Halo 3 and it's only in the Halo CE remaster pack of Halo Reach.
Oh.
So I would be surprised if you guys have played it.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
And then I feel like I'm forgetting one big one. Ascension. That's a big one, actually. That one is in like every freaking Halo game, and that map is shit. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But this map is shit. I don't know why it keeps getting remade. It's Pinnacle in Halo Reach, something in Halo 2 Anniversary. You basically just get spawn killed endlessly.
Oh, it's like Nuketown.
It's that map.
No 1v1 when you're younger.
It's that map in Halo 2 Anniversary, just because I feel like you guys will know it from here, where there's that circle in the middle with the 3 things, and you can turn the shield on around it. One side has the sniper tower, one has the Banshee, and one's like a little base thing.
Oh, yeah. I know that
it's
one.
on like a pillar.
Yeah. What other things are there about the multiplayer aspect of the game that we need to hit?
I'm glad that you mentioned that.
I planned for this.
One more thing, because I like Halo 2 maps are probably, I think, the most unique of the series, so I just love bringing them up. Halo 2 has multiple like city urban warfare type maps that is not in any other Halo game. Like there's nothing like that. It's so fucking fun to be like in a like normal street and you're like shooting out the windows at like wraiths and ghosts and stuff. Like
Yeah, that's cool.
that is not in any other Halo game.
Yeah, that doesn't
I wish
exist
they would
anymore.
bring some of those back. But to bring it to what you were saying to a new topic, probably I think this would be what people would consider the biggest like draw of Halo 2 multiplayer, because it's like, oh, Halo 2 multiplayer, and what was like the biggest shock everyone saw when they went into it, which also like connected well and meshed in a good sort of like synergy with the campaign, is the playable elites.
Oh yes, great. That's a great point.
Because like you had this thing in Halo 2 and 3 and Reach, and then they were like, oh, we hate fun, so they got rid of it after that. But where like
Just
you know, you had like the elite players and the human players, and you just have all the,
It was
like,
cool.
It was just a fun situation when you're like, oh, my boy always plays an elite or something like that.
yeah, and it's just something that they didn't have to put into the game, but they did anyway.
And canonically, it makes
I
sense.
don't understand. Yeah, it does. I just don't understand why that stopped being a thing. Like, it just doesn't really make sense to
Because
me.
it's more work.
Because now you can't just open
Yeah,
the skin model and change the hue and saturation and resell it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yo, honestly, I'm surprised. I know it would have been big backlash, but I really thought they were going to do it. I'm surprised they did not add like an elite armor core that you have to buy in Halo Infinite.
I mean, people would buy it. They should have. Well, not for that reason, but
They really could have. They could have added an elite one, a brute one.
yeah. Oh man, if they did a brute one, like people would have thought the game was the best one in the series.
Well, I remember before the game came out, everyone's like, because they're like, we're going back to Classic Halo. Everyone's like, holy shit, elites are coming back. The Arbiter will probably be in it, and this is a big focus on the brutes, so we'll probably get playable brutes. Can't wait to play co-op with my friends. Nope, none of them.
Yeah. Pretty tragic. Pretty tragic.
But the playable elites were a really cool thing. And then you had like I forget what they're called, like battle records or something. Like you could click on someone in your pre-game lobby, see how they customized their guy, which in Halo 2 it wasn't that much. They really expanded on it in the future games. But you could see someone Spartan, you could see what they beat the campaign on, what difficulty, you could see like their rank.
Yeah, and that just all adds to the social experience of playing multiplayer games. Like being able to see all of that stuff just makes the experience different, and you feel like there's some sort of a community and like you're sharing an experience with people, which
And
I
it
feel
makes
like
you want to perform
doesn't always
good.
happen in games now.
Because you want to have
and
a
it
cool...
draws you to other parts of the game.
Yeah, you want to have a cool...
You're like, oh, I want that campaign badge on my thing.
You want to have a cool
Yes.
card and have cool stats for people to look at, and you're like...
That's something that I feel like has disappeared from gaming. Obviously, Halo Reach of the Halo series did it the best, just because there was more stuff implemented at that point. But Halo 2 was the start of it, and I feel like that's so cool to see someone's like different playlist ranked things.
Well...
I'm not sure if this was Halo 2 or Halo 3, but eventually you could see like people's achievements and challenges for the game that they've done on their thing.
Yeah, well, it was
Yeah.
pretty cool. Kind of not to change the game or the topic, but in Overwatch, for a long time, in Overwatch 1, you used to be able to like view people's career profiles to see their like win percentages and their performance as like whatever characters and how long they played a character and what their rank is and past ranks and all that cool stuff. But now, by default, they make it private, so people just don't unchange it or
At
leave
least
it on
it's still
private,
there,
and it's
like-
just like it's not the same anymore.
I mean, I agree with you that it should not default to private, but at least it's still there. Halo just lost that completely. We don't even have lobbies to click on people.
No one
so-
makes it public though, because then they can't like. It turned into like a anti-bully thing because.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
just
guess
remember
it's
like,
necessary nowadays.
I mean, for me it was more Halo 3 because I didn't play Halo 2 multiplayer as much. Well, I didn't play it at all when it was like the thing. Halo 3 was like the first one I played like when it was still relevant.
Yeah.
But like I just remember, like, you know, you'd be sitting in a pregame lobby, you'd look at someone, you'd be like, damn, this guy looks badass, and you'd like look through his shit, holy shit, look how many kills he has.
Oh, yeah.
This is his best weapon. He completed the campaign on legendary, what the hell? And then like obviously less common, I don't think I ever saw one, but it would also show like people who did lasso campaigns.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, lassos are insane.
And
too.
then you'd just be like, fuck, man, this guy's insane.
This guy's
I'm
good.
glad he's on my
Hope
team.
he's on my team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you get out of the game and you'd be in a post game lobby, which also rocked, because then someone would be like, oh, fuck you, you suck, or be like, yo, that was wild. It was just fun. Those were the days, man. You felt like you were just chilling. And like so many people used to talk in Halo. I mean, just in gaming in general back then, so many people used to be like talking in game chat.
Yeah. My biggest pet peeve in like with gaming companies and in the industry in general, I guess, is when you take something out of a game that was already in a game. Like that is the most annoying thing to me. Like why?
Yeah, unless it's like something that everyone's complaining about.
Yeah. But not, I'm talking about taking out good
when they
things,
remove
like
features, not
features.
complaints.
Yes. Exactly. Like
Yeah.
you had it already.
Like Firefight's been gone for years.
Yes.
Actually, it just came back.
But why was it gone? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. So that's like my biggest pet peeve with that kind of thing. I
Co-op.
hate that.
Split screen.
Playable elites, like all
Playable elites. Dual wielding.
Yeah, that kind of stuff just doesn't make sense.
Assassinations. What the hell went on there?
Yeah, like literally, why are you taking that out? The only thing you had to do was give the option to just do the regular one, which was a thing. You didn't have to do an assassination if you didn't need to. But
and then you can get even deeper into it.
Yeah, like just give me the ability to do it. I just want the ability to do it if I choose to. Don't limit me
actually, I
in
think
what
Halo
I can
5,
and can't do.
Halo 5 did it perfectly. You could, because their excuse was, well, we don't want people accidentally doing it. But in Halo 5, you could just go into your settings and turn it off. Just do that again, you know?
Yeah, like expect more of your player base. Like don't baby them. Like they obviously know what they're doing. So I hate when
and
they
you can
pander.
fuck us with that. Sell assassinations.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't do that. That would be horrible. That
You can sell animations.
No, but give us like a base set. We should get all the ones that were in the previous games, and then since they're already selling us colors like obviously I would rather them all be free. But I'm saying like they have an incentive to put them in. People would buy those.
Yeah.
When Call of Duty does it with their assassinations.
That's true. I hate that practice though. That's such like I think that's so gross. I hate that.
I mean, I'm not a fan of it either, but I'd take it over not having them at all.
Yeah, I guess. That's
Even
tough.
Destiny does it. I just remembered.
Yeah. So many people do it now. It's crazy.
Man, unfortunate. Fuck, I had something in my mind. Someone talk so I can think.
Bert, what is your like Halo multiplayer experience? Which ones have you played? Have you only played 3 and like
I played some of the Master Chief Collection with Sebastian.
Okay, so
But
probably
you've only
with you
played
guys.
MCC ones.
Yeah.
You've not played any
Original.
like in their
No.
prime.
well, you
Because for me, the only ones I played like in their primes was Halo 3, Halo Reach, and I played a little bit of Halo 4, but I hated it so much that it must have been less than a month that I played of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played them. in
You've
their
gotten
prime.
a little bit of a taste of Halo 2, either from the anniversary or the OG stuff because that's on MCC. So
Yeah, I probably do. But honestly, I wouldn't be able to distinguish the experiences between the different games because they're so
yeah, because they all
intermingled.
blend together. Yeah.
That's what I think was, if you missed it, it's unfortunate. But I think that's something that was so cool about when they brought them to PC, and they brought them one game at a time, which at first you're like, oh, that's lame. But I'm actually so glad they did that, because if they brought all the games in at once, you would not be able to play Halo 1 or 2 multiplayer, because everyone would be playing 3 and Reach. Those are the ones everyone loves the most. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah, that's a
true.
good decision.
So when they were bringing them out one at a time, 2 to 3 months apart. Like I played, and it's great for me for the ones that I missed, being Halo 1 and Halo 2, like in their prime. I played Halo 1 multiplayer like exclusively for like 3 months. Halo 2 multiplayer exclusively for like 3 months.
Yeah.
As they were coming out.
Yeah, that's probably a smart decision because then you let each game have its own little bit of a shine too. So that's a smart decision.
It almost felt like they were new, you know? Like it was like these are coming out again. You get to relive the release of Halo 1 and Halo 2 and Halo
it was
3.
like the second
Yeah, that's really kind of
release.
genius.
Yeah, it was the second release of your games.
It was awesome. That was, as much as I loved them back in the day, I think that is probably my favorite era of Halo, was them coming out again.
Yeah.
Because it was so fun.
Did Halo 2 have custom games, or did that come later?
It had custom games, but there was no Forge, so...
Oh, so you couldn't do much then.
They were like... Yeah, they were basic things.
That's still worth noting, the fact that they had it. Because then it spawns and evolves into something that is so much bigger than people probably ever anticipated. I think that also probably opened the door to modding too, like people wanting to be able to like mod the game and change it. I would think like it probably inspired a lot of
so
people to start that.
You want to mod the game to
Yeah,
put it
exactly.
Well,
forward.
another thing, Halo has kind of like a complicated release thing going on, because Halo 1 and 2 actually did come out on PC. And Halo 3 and Reach never did until they re-released MCC on PC. So Halo 2 actually did have like some fire mods back in the day.
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know what custom games is, it's basically like you get to create your own game modes, and later on it becomes a much bigger thing. We'll probably talk about it in the Halo 3 episode, but it's a pretty cool feature that not a lot of games have. Or at least they don't have it as in-depth as Halo did.
I think the part of the reason is because of Forge, but Halo 2 definitely started out that trend, and the main like introduction of Halo 2 towards that specific thing that they added in like was a new feature in Halo 2 was Halo 2 was the first appearance of Infection, and that's like the baseline of all the custom games that are good.
Yeah, that's true.
Then we didn't have Infection for a few years because Halo sucks now.
Yeah,
unfortunate.
Bert, you played Infinite though, didn't you? Right?
Yeah,
I'm
briefly
going backwards a little bit, but
I mean that multiplayer is different though than the Master Chief Collection.
It is. It feels.
Yeah,
different.
I feel like Infinite just feels like your standard FPS.
It definitely does. More generic.
Like, I guess it's not shit, but it just feels like any other FPS to me, just with a Halo skin.
Yeah, I don't feel that way with it, but I could see how maybe
it has elements of FPS shooters, but it does have the Halo twist to it. Though it dilutes the original game for sure.
I think they pulled a move that worked very terribly for them, because they went for the let's hit the middle, which means that the Halo people won't like it because it's not Halo, and the general audience won't like it because it's not whatever the hell they're playing. They didn't pick either side, you know? They're not like, let's target these people or let's target these people. Let's go in the middle.
I suppose.
Yeah. I think so. I don't know. Well,
and that's why everyone's like, yeah,
episode,
it's fine.
So we won't get into it.
Yeah, we'll give... So... Yeah, the Infection. Infection from Halo 2.
Yeah, Infection is... we should have talked about that more, honestly. Infection is huge.
They're
Infection
so cool.
Yeah,
Man.
it helped probably start like that whole zombies craze too, if you think about it. Like,
they're intelligent zombies.
Giant thing. Yeah. And it's still an iconic mode today that people still love to play and want in every Halo game. It even spawned over into Call of Duty. Call of Duty had its own Infection mode too.
Every game has it now, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much, basically.
If
So
not,
it's definitely a huge
So
thing.
here's something
in.
that this is a series. Sorry,
I was just gonna say, even if an Infection isn't in games, most of the time the community will like make a custom game that is infection. Like Overwatch used to have custom infection games.
Oh yeah, yeah. The community will, if it's not there, take it into their own hands and usually make it themselves.
Right. Here's something that I think Halo did amazing up to Reach, and Halo 2 is what starts it. Is Halo is one of those games that we'll talk about this more in Reach, because Reach is where it's the most obvious. But Halo 2 definitely starts it, where like I feel like Halo is one of the few games that has this, where like there are so many different communities within Halo, and that's why it feels like it's its own like social network type of thing. Because you have the people that like are the campaign people, you know, speedrunning levels, playing Lasso, doing legendary runs, deathless, whatever. You have the hardcore multiplayer people who are playing ranked, not narrows, this is Halo 2, ranked midship, ranked lockout, or headlong, or whatever. And then you have like the more casual people, which is what kind of where Infection comes in, where people are, let's hop on Halo and play some Infection, or grab bag, or whatever the stupid game mode that's like silly.
Yeah,
big team battle.
Halo's definitely known for some silly game modes and like different game modes. I don't know when it started, but like Oddball. What's the other one with the gravity hammers? Griffball, but that's from Halo 3. Oh, no, actually, yeah, Griffball was introduced in Halo 2, but it was a custom game, so it came from the community.
I don't
actually.
like that
so
game
that's
mode.
just another way that the custom games thing was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they made a really popular custom game. It got really popular on different people's profiles and stuff. Bungie noticed, so they put it in the actual map rotation.
That's a cool
or game mode rotation
thing that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, that's not very often that does happen.
And then never mind, that's Halo 3, but like there's all these different communities, you know, like, and then it just expands as Halo goes further. You have the Forge people, the theater people.
Yeah.
You have, you know, all these different like subsections within Halo. So like you're playing hard, like you're playing competitive ranked one day, right? And you get pissed off. You're, oh my god, fuck! Let me go play Infection to chill, or let me go play campaign, or let me, you know, I just played a badass map. Let me go into theater and get a cool freaking clip from it or something.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different areas. I feel like
no, there is. There's a lot of different communities too within those different areas.
And then another thing that relates back to like the head multiplayer designer, director, whatever, that I just remembered was there was like a big conversation about skill-based matchmaking and how he would like intentionally like lower the things he was going for. I don't know like the exact, it's been so long, but like basically, it wouldn't turn every game into a shitty situation where it's trying to make you lose.
Yeah, because it feels like nowadays you'll play a game, get absolutely demolished, then the next game you'll absolutely demolish the team, and then it'll just go back and forth.
Actually, to me, it feels like if you do good one game, they're like, time to lose 5.
Or that too. That also, that is the trend.
And sometimes you don't even win. You just don't, like, you go positive or something. So they're like, all right, next game, all your teammates will get 0 kills.
Yeah, and you'll have everything. And
yeah,
you'll be like, what?
Yeah, that does happen.
It's just sad to see, like, the original Halo multiplayer guys being like, yeah, we did the exact opposite of what they're doing to you now. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, but that's just an industry thing, not so much a Halo-specific problem.
That is true.
Yeah, that give them some credit there. It is just the industry nowadays.
Because there's so much focus on player retention these days.
I don't even think it
kind of diminishes the player fun.
I think what also tends to happen is that game developers are making games catered with a competitive aspect in mind. And the problem with that, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make your game competitive, but you make your game so competitive that you drive away the casual player, where people that work
Yeah, well, I feel
9
like
to
you're
5 just want to come home, pick up a controller, and get some kills and die a couple times and have a good night versus sweating and raging all night.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you're agreeing with me, but you said you disagree because I'm with you on there. So I think you're right. But I think that's a player retention thing in terms of the developers care way too much, I think, about Twitch views. And
Yeah.
not just Twitch, YouTube, whatever. These big streamers or very high profile competitive players, they need their game to be like this constant, intense, sweaty, try hard thing so that anyone watching, the player retention, there it is right there, is like nonstop. There's no downtime.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense, yeah.
And then, unfortunately, the result of that is when you go and actually play it, it's like, holy shit, I played one game and I'm exhausted.
Yeah, it's like mentally draining.
Never thought about it for that reason. That is a good...
Yeah. There's not just a lot of
problem,
back,
different
or maybe
reason. Or same...
maybe it's just me,
Yeah.
but I just don't feel like there's much casual gaming anymore.
There isn't.
And I
That's
feel
why
like Halo was like the godfather of that.
Like, we've been playing a lot of Halo Wars
Yeah.
lately, and that's because I find that game to be more casual than
Not online.
not online.
No, yeah,
but
not online. That
against
shit's
the
fucking
AI?
crazy.
Legendary. It's, to me, it's just the right amount of hard.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's a little sus, man.
All right. Well, you texted you were getting
But-
naked earlier.
Whoa, man.
Anyways,
Why are you just airing out my
we're
text?
moving on.
It was so sus. I
yeah,
couldn't
so-
forget it.
It's just unfortunate though because we're at the place we're at where the focus is making competitive games at the cost of the casual scene.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with having a competitive thing, but just keep it to ranked. I don't know why they don't do that.
Yeah, like have a good ranked and a good casual.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, well.
Because when I play Halo, I actually prefer to play ranked than to play casual in terms of like my peak fun can be achieved in ranked, but I don't want to play ranked all the time. Like sometimes I just want to like drive a chopper around. Obviously, I wouldn't freaking go trying to ram someone with a chopper in competitive because it probably won't work. But sometimes you just want to fuck around and do dumb shit.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
want to
definitely.
try or have to think about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or you just want to try and do something funny. You want to drive the elephant on sand trap, you know?
Yeah. That too.
And sometimes that's the most satisfying part too in gaming, when you successfully pull something stupid off.
Yeah. It really
I think
is.
that's
It's just
part
a
of the
different kind of a
reason-
feeling.
I think that's part of the reason why, like, at least for us, our preference right now is co-op, because there's nowhere else to get a casual experience right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately.
It's a hard
Yep.
reality. The modern gaming scene. Hopefully, it'll
But
get
it's the
better.
reality we live in.
But a lot of that, I feel, comes from like the consumer. Because if people keep buying games, like how they're being released, nothing will change.
Yeah,
If
it's
anything,
definitely
it'll get
consumer
worse.
driven. Like I think that's just a fact.
Like Hollywood,
Everything is
the
consumer
boycotts
driven.
in Hollywood, and well, not the boycotts, but like I guess sorta.
Strikes.
No, like just the lack of money that Hollywood made because of people just not seeing movies.
Yeah, the strikes partially contributed to that too.
That's true.
Well, the unfortunate part is that, like, even if a game sells significantly less, like, for example, Halo Infinite popped off on players, but it didn't sell. I mean, it sold, but it wasn't like a groundbreaking game in terms of sales because, I mean, the multiplayer is free to play. That's what most people just did. And they make their money in keeping this game around long and, you know, charging you over time. Whereas, like, you make a solid Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach full package product, they buy that shit once, and then, you know, what's your incentive
Yeah, where's
to...
the return or the
to give you anything
For the
else.
continued
true.
income. That's why I feel like monthly subscriptions are becoming popular too. But that's a different topic.
That's why live service has
Yeah.
fucked everything.
That's why I don't play Destiny, because that game is it's live service, and every year you have to fork up $100 to keep playing, and if you don't,
Yeah.
I agree with you that
you
that's
lose half the
toxic.
game.
But at the very least, at least you actually get like significant content in
That's
Destiny.
true.
It's not like you're paying $20 to change the color
It's,
of your
it's a new
armor.
game you're getting, but it's annoying that you have to do it every year.
Yeah. But like I'm just like that's better than I mean it's not good. I'm not saying it's good, but that's better than fucking $10-15 for a helmet.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
But I mean back in the good days, Halo 2 revolutionized things, made everything awesome. It was good for, 10-ish years.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think unless you have any other topics about the multiplayer, I think we might be towards the end.
Yeah, I think those are the main things. It's a bit of a shorter one, but it's just kind of focused on specifically multiplayer. So
Yeah, and I think Halo 2 warrants that. I don't think the other ones probably will, so probably be
This is
single
such a
episode we'll be able to hit
Defining
both.
game for multiplayer.
I think
Maybe 3.
yeah, part of the reason Halo 2 needs its own for multiplayer is just because of how long the campaign is.
Yeah, that too. That contributes to it too. And the multiplayer was like a groundbreaking thing. Like it changed gaming in the whole industry, so like, it warrants some more recognition and time.
It deserves the respect.
Yeah, so I think that brings us
Yeah.
to the end. Keep watching, please, or I guess not watching. Keep listening. You can find our podcast wherever you listen to things. So,
And keep it
Ears
salty,
open.
as always.
yep. Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. See you guys next time.
Oh, and Happy New Year.